Hello, Danny Orton here from the Soccer Expansion Project. Just so that we are aware of what that all involves, I've got this little bit of a thing here I'm going to put together for you. I messed up here, saving. Not prepared, sorry. Let's go here and just talk about what this means. So the Soccer Expansion Project, I'm using my little Miro board here, is just essentially a way to bring together some partners. On this right hand side, if we pull this out a little bit, on the right hand side, pull some partners together. So yesterday we spoke about some administration stuff and whatnot. We're working a little bit with Soccer Profile, Gary and Stuart Monk, on players and coaches and all the things that might be involved there, all the way down to retail and even people that might be looking to develop programs, buildings, land, those kind of things, all geared towards helping soccer grow and all geared towards helping kids play. And on the left hand side is just everybody. We all come together through this portal. We are building this right now, so you can get access to all the stuff on the right hand side, but these videos are just a little idea of some previews of what we might get into. So today I wanted to combine another part of my career. I spent some time in the financial services industry in England with HSBC and also with Edward Jones here in America, and wanted to look at some of the idea of saving. So if we look at these areas of focus that we might get involved with, some of these ideas regarding saving. And me as a soccer coach, I didn't really pay attention to this as I was younger. I wish I did. But the idea is that regardless of what age we're at, maybe we can start to think about saving for retirement. And I wanted just to throw away, there's the BBC browser, we'll get rid of that. I wanted to first of all throw in this. So you can, if you type in IRA calculator or retirement savings calculator, there's lots of ways to play around with different types of things. So for example, you can just say, if your current balance is zero, let's say that you want to put in before tax contribution, let's just say that you put in, I don't know, $1,000, and your investment return 6 is relatively conservative. You can probably go as far as 7. Let's say you are currently just starting out as a soccer coach and you're relatively young and you want to retire at 65. Here's your tax rate, inflation rate, hit calculate. Let's go annual. So you put $1,000 in, so just about $80 a month. Let's see what that looks like at the end of it. So at the end of, by the time you get to retirement, you can start to look at exactly what you've earned, which is definitely the cool part. And you can see this particular one has lots of growth attached to it. So let me find your balance. Let's see there. So regular taxable Roth IRA, comes today's purchasing power. So you can start to see the things start to grow. In terms of what you can do. Now these types of things here are different vehicles for saving for retirement, and they have different rules, but you can start to see here that here's your contributions, age 22, 1,000. You can see the growth on the end of it. So let's just pull that down here. So retirement calculator 175. You can start to see, just like when you're putting in money for or paying off a mortgage, you can see these schedules of payments, but this time it's going up in your favor, which is the cool bit. So it starts to compound, the interest starts to compound, and you end up starting to save. I'm actually trying to find the amount that we put in. The principal, there we go, after tax. So the principal amount is this blue line here. So you're going to put in $35,000, and with each of these vehicles you can start to see what that looks like by the time you do retire. So you can see you triple your money, etc. So those calculators are kind of exciting just to look at if you are new to the savings idea. But here's the two decisions. So before tax, so when you get your paycheck, or if you get a paycheck, before you've been taxed on that, you can choose a couple of different vehicles to help you get involved with retirement savings. So before tax reduces your current taxable income. So for example, if you get paid $100, you're not taxed on $100 just yet. Say you put 20 away for savings, into a retirement account, that means that you're taxed on $80. So it reduces your tax liability in the short term. So all of these things grow in what's called a tax deferred status. So before tax, it comes off the top of your paycheck. So a few things you can do. There's a simple or 401k. You may have heard of those things. Certainly the 401k, that would be set up by your employer. So if you're working for a bigger club, maybe there's a simple IRA or maybe even a 401k. There are certain rules that need to follow those things around, but they're set up by the employer and that comes off your paycheck. I have what's called a SEP IRA. So if you're a 1099 and you just receive a check from a coaching organization for the work you do, that 1099 money is essentially your own business. You can put some of that money towards your SEP IRA, and it's set up by you, which is kind of cool. So it reduces your tax liability when it comes to your income. So let's say you make $10,000 a year from coaching. Maybe you can put $2,500 of that into a retirement account, and then for that year your then taxable amount is $7,500. So that $2,500 grows tax deferred. There are certain rules that follow along from those types of programs. There's penalties for early withdrawals. So just imagine putting your money into a bank account, you can't get it, and if you get it out, you're penalized. And there are also contribution limits. So for example, the SEP IRA, I believe, is like maybe 25% of your total income. So that $2,500 example was a good one if you make $10,000. So then there are after tax. So you've got your money, you've been taxed. You can then decide to put it into another vehicle, which is a after tax vehicle, and one of those is a Roth IRA. It doesn't reduce your current taxable income, so all the money that's left in your bank account, you just essentially put it into a savings account called a Roth IRA. The cool thing about that is that it can grow without being taxed, so that you have another opportunity. So you've got a smaller amount potentially going into the Roth IRA, but you have the chance to have that growth, grow tax-free. So when you withdraw it, you've got tax-free withdrawals. However, you just have to be careful on a few things. So you can't put in, I think it's maybe 64 or 6,500 right now is the limit for a Roth IRA, and there are certain things in terms of penalties you've got to be careful of. So your contributions can be withdrawn from a Roth IRA. So just like a savings account, let's say you put $1,000 in, you can withdraw that $1,000 without any issues. If you put $1,000 in, and in a year it was now worth $1,200, and you withdrew the extra $200, you would be taxed on that and penalized on that until you get to a certain age. So just got to be wary of that. Most folks will find a way to have both of these vehicles as part of their overall plan, but something you can play around with. So my suggestion would be to get on those calculators and play around with what you could be saving and what you could be looking at. I was late to the show, never really not necessarily understood it, but I just even $25, $30, $50 a month could be a big help. Contact a financial advisor. You can do these things online, but I suggest talking to somebody. They can put together an overall plan for you, a financial plan, so you can know that you're on track, and they just weigh up what you might be spending when you retire. And I believe if the data is what I remember it to be, that's not very scientific, but I think only maybe a third of people living in America are either ready for retirement or know exactly what's going to happen at retirement. And the big fear that most people have is that they won't have enough money to retire, and that becomes a source of stress. So hope that helps a little bit. If you're a young soccer coach especially, that if you can get here and start adding little savings to your retirement, etc., or as opposed to me, when I started I was somewhere in this range, and right now I'm in this range, right? Time is really important for investments to stay in the market and to grow. I am not currently licensed as a financial advisor, quick disclaimer, but just understand that these things are important, and go talk to somebody. They will find the investment vehicle that works for you. They will place your money in the market based on certain your risk tolerance and how you might be comfortable with the fluctuations in the market and your long-term goals, And there we go. And the big reason why the market's important is this thing here. So if you think about inflation, if you're not outpacing inflation with your savings, then your money is going to be worth less and less as you get older. So the market's important. It's very important, especially if you've got a family. But for yourself, again, if you're a young coach, get out there, speak with a financial advisor, get online, start a Roth IRA. People will help you, and I hope this helps. So that's it for today, and we'll be back tomorrow. Cheers.